You're listening to the Dice Tower Network. If you like this show, you might like Out of Game or the Plaid Hat Podcast. Find out more at Dicetowernetwork.com.
Party Gamecast will show you what to play, giving you ideas when you don't know what to do or say. Party Gamecast. It's all fun and games. We'll show you new ideas to play. Party Gamecast. Having fun is easy when you know what games to play. Party Gamecast will show you what to play, giving you ideas so you can party away.
Welcome to episode number 77 of the Party Gamecast, featuring the Party Gamecast, podcast about party games, games you take to parties. I'm your moderator, Bruce. Thank you so much for listening. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Washingcon 2, or the Washingcon in 2016, however you want to go about that. I'm just going to let you know ahead of time, we super duper loved it. We are excited to do it again next year, but we talk about some of the stuff we ran into. We also talk about a couple of the games we played. We're going to talk about Simon's Cat from Steve Jackson Games. We're also going to talk about Twistocity, which will be in this episode. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. There was a point in this episode where I did an interview with the guy that makes Twistocity, and it is on the audio recording device, but getting it off much harder than I thought it was going to be. This is the same reason we did an interview with Nick Bentley, who made Stinker forever ago. And that has never come out, and it's the same reason, so I have to find a way to get it off the recorder. But for the time being, it means when you get to that part of the show, and it says, hey, well, either you're going to hear the interview, or Bruce is going to tell you something from the... We'll talk to each other again at that point, because that is not coming off the recorder anytime soon. Should just a note. Quick update on Extra Life. We are doing pretty well. I think we're 44% on our way to our goal. We've raised as a team $1,535 towards our goal of $3,500, which I think is pretty darn good. I'm very proud of us. Looking for new members. If I mentioned you last time and I'm mentioning you again, I'm sorry. It probably means you didn't have a picture, so I didn't connect anything. Paul Becker is on our team now. Jonathan Lundberg is on our team. Adam Godby, who I feel like I mentioned last time, but is on our team now. Malika Gillette has joined our team. Mark Dresja, I'm just mentioning you because I know you're going to be there at the live shindig on our team now. So we thank all of you. Remember, if you want to donate to us, go to extra-life.org. Look for the Party Gamecast and Break My Game. Pick a team member you'd like to support. If you want to join our team, still plenty of time. Look for the Party Gamecast and Break My Game. If you're looking for a live event to go to and you're in the Baltimore, D.C. area, check us out at the Board and Brew in College Park, Maryland. We would love to see you there. They stay open for a full 24 hours. They donate part of their table fees to us, which is fantastic and super duper exciting. We'll be there November the 5th, starting at 9 a.m., running until the 6th on 9 a.m. I think I'm going to stop at 8 a.m. because that's 24 hours, because we did not realize, that that's when daylight savings time kicks in, or standard time, or whatever that's called, where you fall back. So we have to do an hour twice. So I may just do 24 hours. Because I like sleep. That may be why I do that. We're looking for ideas for things to do there. If you are at another Extra Life event and you want to Skype in, I think we're going to do that. We're going to have all kinds of video gamey type things there. I think we're going to try some of that this year. Not huge amounts of it, but things like the Jackbox Party Pack, and I know they were talking about some other things, but show up. That's how you can find out. We are still working on putting together a plan of events so that you know exactly when we're doing things. And then one other thing to note, just so that you guys know, I have a new job. And you may say, hey, Bruce, good for you. Why are you talking about it on the podcast? Well, it's because it's in the board game industry. I am now the social media and content marketing person for North Star Games, the makers of Wits and Wagers and Say Anything and Happy Salmon and Evolution. Because of that, not a lot will change on this show. It's just I may not necessarily review their games on here because if I were you, I wouldn't trust me in that case. If I knew that one of the hosts worked for the company everything good I said, I would just assume, yeah, Corey works for the company, he's going to say anything good. And if I don't say anything bad, you're going to be like, well, of course he's not, because he's already with the company. So I think at times I will tell you about things going on with what we're doing at North Star, but I will not necessarily review anything that North Star makes here. And the same goes for onboard games. But for those of you that are wondering how you could interact with me in more ways, on Twitter, at North Star Games would be a great start. Soon I'll be writing a blog for them and all kinds of stuff. I guess for us. I'll be writing a blog for us. But just so you know, I now work for North Star Games. So I just want to make that aware. I want to make sure that we're as upfront as we can be about that. I do not believe there's a conflict of interest of any kind, but just to let you know, I'm going to make sure there is never a conflict of interest of any kind here at the Party Gamecast. So I think that covers it all. Oh, also, a quick mention. I promised I would thank him here on the show. I think I thanked him last episode, but I'll do it again. I want to thank Stephen Bonacore for sponsoring me for Extra Life. That is very nice of you, Stephen. Thank you very much. And to the rest of you, remember, check us out at extra-life.org. We won't be bothering you too many more times. Check out the live event. Try to sponsor us, be a part of it, and help the kids, the Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital. Let you know about that. Let you know that I'm now working for the fine folks at North Star Games. I think that covers everything you need to know. Let's jump into the episode. Welcome to episode number 77 of the Party Gamecast, featuring the Party Gamecast, podcast about party games and games take to parties. I'm your moderator, Bruce. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Washingcon 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Had to happen.
Yeah, it's the one.
Had to happen.
It's the one where we try and save the rec center.
Yep.
We're also going to talk about some games that we saw there.
Also, it was not held in a rec center.
It was not held in the rec center. It was held in a very nice... We'll talk about it in a minute. We're going to be talking about Simon's Cat from Steve Jackson Games and Twistocity.
Easy for you to say.
Indeed. From
Apparently not.
Twistocity Games. I'm your moderator, Bruce. Joining me in the show is Rocki.
Hello.
Josh.
Happy to be here on the Sep.
Brian.
What's up?
And Mike.
How you doing?
I'm all right, Mike. How are you?
You know, yeah.
Yeah, but so you. How do you feel about conventions, Mike?
Yeah.
Very conventional.
Conventions are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes when we go, we get to meet people who listen to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Well.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So we did that as long as we possibly could.
Yeah,
It was the eye contact.
Yeah.
The eye contact always does it.
Was that to make up for last episode? Because I had noticed, I listened to the last episode, there was no awkward conversation.
No, sometimes we...
Sorry. There was no awkward conversation.
There was
a
at the
lot.
beginning
Yeah.
of the episode.
At that point, yes.
Sometimes if you're a regular listener of the show, we had one episode where it was just talk into a plastic cup theater at the beginning where we didn't do...
Yes, we don't have plastic cups right
We don't
now.
have plastic cups. So every once in a while we got to mix it up. This time we felt like we should go back to our roots.
We don't have plastic cups. No, that doesn't quite work.
That is the lid of Twistocity.
Oh, is it?
So that's all you need to know about Twistocity.
Reviewed.
Have
You're
fun,
welcome.
guys.
It's a venerable artifact, the lid of Twistocity.
Indeed. So...
Speaking of which, I just dropped the artifact. By the way,
Yes.
The gods will be mad at you.
you made a slight mistake in the intro.
Did I?
You did. It is not by Twistocity Games. It is by Mass Middle Games.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're, I'm sure, at massmiddle.com? No, they're at twistocity.com?
Nope, they are at
There we go.
twistocity.com, but it is Mass Middle Games.
So the first thing I want to talk about is Washingcon 2 that we went to in beautiful Washington, D.C. on the campus of Georgetown University at the Georgetown University Conference Center and Hotel,
Yes.
which I didn't know was a thing.
I believe it's the Levy Conference Center or something.
That's
Okay.
the specific one we were in.
yes.
Yeah.
That's where we were.
Next to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did not realize they had a hotel and conference
Right
center
next
there.
to Guh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The G, which could be hotel, but it really means hospital.
Yeah. So, a lot of crazy stuff going on there. I'm going to start with you, Rock, because you and I just got done... Yeah, I say just got done like months ago. Going to Dice Tower Con.
This one felt more inviting, I guess. I don't want to say anything bad about Dice Tower Con because there wasn't anything bad about it. But everybody was Maybe because when we went to Dice Tower Con, it was near the end. Everyone was exhausted, and everyone was kind of zombie-like.
I don't even know if that's fair. We got there on Thursday for Dice Tower Con, so we were there for Thursday night and Friday and Saturday, and so we were there solidly in the middle of the convention.
But the people seemed to be friendlier and commingling a little bit more at Washingcon, and more open to trying things that we were doing, rather than kind of
There's the key, I think.
looking at it with disdain and keep walking.
Party games.
Yes.
I see.
The crowd seemed more diverse. It was
Yes.
It
Diversity was
a
diverse.
certain kind of demographic at Dice Tower Con, maybe because of where we were. And it wasn't a local. I don't want to say it wasn't a local con, but
Well, no, it was a national con. It was it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was talking to someone that we met at Dice Tower Con, and that was the first thing she said to me. Was she was like, "Oh my God, this is so diverse." She was like, "I'm just shocked," because she was like, there are disabled people here, which she pointed out because she was in a wheelchair. So she was like, there are disabled people, there are women here, there are people of color, there are women of color, there
all
are
ages, all races, everything.
There are people
Trans.
Say it again?
There were trans people.
Yeah,
there.
no, and that was the other, because I like the way she phrased it. She was like, there are men here, there are women here, there are people on every part of the gender spectrum between both parts of that.
Yes.
And it was really kind of cool to see. Everybody was just happy to be there. Everybody was playing games. There was no, it was really surprising. It was very much the United Colors of Benetton.
It really was.
Yeah.
And there were kids there in the middle of this, and everyone was like, okay. And we were playing games that were kid-friendly. I don't know how universal that was across. I mean, we tend to play games that are more kid-friendly anyway. Mm-hmm. And people were coming up. We had a couple of parents with children come up and play games with us.
Yeah.
And they just jumped right in.
And that was some of the most fun we had when the kids came along and played. And one of the most adorable moments we had was with a kid when we were playing
Giant Rhino Hero.
Yeah,
And which you can check our Twitter account to see some pictures
got about
of.
6 feet tall, and this 6-year-old girl got on her dad's shoulders.
It was adorable.
It was the cutest thing ever. And then she was so excited, she was like jumping up and down on his shoulder. It was great.
And then one thing to be noted about this con is, so we've done local cons in sort of this, we'll call the DC area, because we've done Congress of Gamers for the last couple of years.
Yes.
And Congress of Gamers is a perfectly acceptable, average small con.
Yes.
Like, that's what it does. It's
Held
a small,
in a rec center.
Yeah.
I think, a rec center.
Yeah,
and-
we'll go for all intents and purposes. It's held in a rec center, and it's essentially, it has the vibe, it's a spin-off of the WBC, the World Board Gaming Championships. It is certainly that crowd. It's very tournament-based, and there is open gaming, and people taking advantage of it, but it has sort of a feel to it that it is a small con. This one felt to me a lot more like a mid-con, like Dice Tower did.
Congress of Gamers definitely has a lot more heavy, serious gamers. And not to say that wasn't at Washingcon, but they seemed more tolerant of other gamers.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, even kind of your heavy war game curmudgeons sort of understood where they were, and they were like, we're going to be heavy wargamer curmudgeons over on the left-hand side of the room.
Yeah, I didn't really see a ton of, like, the GMT, Cube games out there, Cube war games out there. There was just, like, 2 tables over from us playing, I think, Happy Salmon at the time. Some people playing Memoir 44, though.
Yes.
Which is definitely it is the lighter end of wargaming, but it is a war game miniatures game.
And there was very clearly kind of an older dude that was making a game that clearly looked like it should have come out of GMT, with thousands of small bits pushed on a map of World War I Europe.
Yeah, a retired physicist.
Yes. And that was absolutely as acceptable as everything else there, which was kind of crazy. I thought that was a really neat thing to see in the middle of all of that. And what I also really liked was that you don't find on the smaller cons, and we were getting at this, which even though it was a small con made it feel a little bigger, was you had real sponsors. You had, because I think the involvement of the Labyrinth Game Store, and they are considered one of the top game stores in the country, that brought in not only our local big companies like North Star Games and like Lumi Labs and like some of the companies out of DC that are sort of doing some things on Kickstarter. This brought Steve Jackson. This brought, I think, a certain amount of support from, I want to say maybe Stronghold. That also brought some support. I'm trying to remember what else I can see on the banner.
I think there was Panda also for as far as game piece things going.
Yeah, Haba was one of the sponsors.
Haba was there.
And that's how they had the
because
giant...
The U.S. rep for Haba was there.
So, I mean, you had some kind of heavy hitter and heavy hitterish. I think Portal Games had a thing there.
Yep.
So it was just really shocking that you had these kind of, medium companies that were at least putting enough sponsorship to either put enough games into the play and win area that it was worth it, or sent a rep to demo things, or, it was just really kind of neat to see all of that involvement, which I found kind of shocking. I think made this feel like a bigger convention than maybe even it was.
And, of course, there was the Unpub Corner. Got to give a little shout-out to them, because I love those guys.
Yeah.
I just love the community there.
Absolutely, and they were there kind of playtesting some games. We saw Daryl Lauder was over there. We saw our friends from
League of Nonsensical
Gamers.
Yes.
We saw one of them over there.
One of the Doctor's Wits was there.
One of the doctors was walking around. So it was just really neat to kind of see all of these people from everything in one place. I saw Jay Treat for a little while. He's working on a couple of interesting games. I know he was talking about one of his games that just got backed on Kickstarter and got fully funded in, like a day. He was really excited about that. And it was kind of neat to see all those people at this con that was inclusive and had children and had older people and had everybody in one place. I'm excited to see them build Washingcon 3 next year, if this is what it's going to be like.
Yeah. And it was nice to sort of reach out and meet some of those people, too, because it's not... If you go to one of the giant cons, if you go to something like Gen Con or Origins, you are not going to meet the people who put together that con. And if you do, they are very, very busy, and they are just walking right past you. But we sat and we stood there and talked with the lady who owns Labyrinth Games several times for a few minutes each time, and had nice conversations with her. Yeah. And we found out, for example, why Haba will never make Giant Rhino Hero again, which makes us really sad.
Yeah, apparently they don't even want to bring it places. That she had to ask for a special deal to bring it because the towers get so tall, and this is, we experienced it ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
That they're afraid of the liability. That's why they're never going to make this. They made one print run of this game that was very small, and from what I've seen, very expensive, like $150 or $200 a set to make these giant cards, and they're not going to reprint it, even if you want to give them that kind of money. They have one copy that they kind of keep, I guess, at Haba HQ, and occasionally will let stroll out to something like this convention.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is not so much that the card tower could collapse, it's that you could collapse, because you have to stand up on chairs to get to the top of it to stack more stuff on top. And there are pictures of Bryan actually doing that on Twitter.
Yeah, and I'm not terribly tall, but still.
But you're
I'm
like an adult guy, and you still had to climb up on a chair and do this. And this was starting from the ground.
Yeah, I'm climbing up on a chair when it started from the ground, and I can still barely see the card on top. And fortunately, it collapsed before it came back around to me, because I don't know how I would have gotten 3 layers higher.
Yeah, and I think the problem is, in knowing gamers are stupid when it comes to games. We do real stupid things.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure at
we're
Gen
competitive.
Con, there was probably somebody who had to stack like a tower of 3 chairs and then 2 chairs on top of those and then a chair on top of that.
Yeah, my guess is like a chair on top of a table or something. Yeah,
on top of a folding table, which is totally not a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't do this at home.
No, and I have a feeling that's probably what has caused that. Now, looking at everybody's kind of con background, Rocki, you and I were talking about having done Dice Tower Con, we've done Congress of Gamers, and we've now done this. I think this might be my favorite thing I've been a part of. Even though Dice Tower is such a unique convention for what it is, I really enjoyed this one.
Dice Tower felt more frantic, and there's this thing, and there's this thing, and there's this thing, and this felt more, let's just hang out and play some games together and have a good time.
Yeah, and there were a couple of scheduled events. We did the Wits and Wagers game show that the North Star folks put on. They also gave us, we're going to have this at our Extra Life, if anybody wants to check it out, is they gave us a copy of Epic Geek Wits and Wagers.
Oh, are we allowed to bring that out in public?
I think we are allowed to have it. We're allowed to talk about it. They've been working on it for a while. They're not sure they're ever actually going to put this thing out. But it was Wits and Wagers where you have kind of funky powers, where like you're the sci-fi Wits and Wagers team, and you have red shirts, and if you're the parody team, you're the Wizard of Odds, and you can change the odds of things. And it has different rules that kind of break the way the game works. They were talking about how they think it might just be, they're still tuning it to see what they can do.
It's very complicated, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like rules that just completely break the basic mechanics.
Which I kind of like in a game, especially something like Wits and Wagers, where I think it's fairly simple as far as rules go.
Yeah.
To begin with, so there's not a lot more that there's not a lot there in terms of rules that you have to add on to. So adding on rules doesn't make it overly complex, I think.
But I think if you're showing it to the average person at Target or Walmart, I think this is a little much.
That may be.
And like I said a couple times when we've been discussing this before, if there were several other alternately themed Wits and Wagers that had already come out, and then this was like theme number 7, it would be different. But if this is the first non-standard Wits and Wagers, it's a big jump. If you're like, well, we had 6 other versions that are all, there was a Star Wars theme where we co-branded with that or whatever, who knows? Because every game, or there was the obligatory Thulu, whatever, something. And then this was just yet another theme, but it was wackier than the others. That would be fine. But as the first jump from standard rules to everything's different, it might be too much for audiences. I think like we haven't played it yet, but it looks like it's put together well. It's just really complicated. Yeah.
So we have one of those sort of a pre-production copy. I think we're going to bring, like I said, we're going to bring that with us.
What are you talking about? That is clearly a finished copy. Look at that dragon. That dragon is professional.
That is the best dragon I've ever seen in any game.
It is an amazing dragon.
Rawr, rawr, like a brontosaurus with markers on it.
Yes. They took the first player marker out of a copy of Evolution and drew all over it.
With a Sharpie. Which is awesome.
Yeah, it is super cool.
Yeah, it's a wooden brontosaurus with a wing drawn on the side and angry teeth.
So it's just really a neat thing to have an experience to see a copy. And that's kind of the neat thing about having the folks from North Star there. And then we opened up Sunday morning by being a part of the Happy Salmon Festival.
God, it was early. So early.
Yeah, but it woke you. Like, the Happy Salmon was actually a good way to wake up in the morning because it gets you excited and happy and adrenaline, but not, like, overwhelming.
Yes.
It's like doing brief calisthenics first thing in the morning. You're like, oh, right. That woke all my muscles up. Cool.
And they had Eduardo from North Star was there, and he's kind of one of the main guys on the marketing side of this. We also have another neat thing he gave us that will eventually be available, is we now have an alternate color set of Wits and Wagers of Happy Salmon, so we now can play 12 people without having to, like, draw on the cards. So I think that's kind of neat that we'll be able to do that, so that'll be another thing that we'll have available. And I think a neat thing to know in the future that there will be a second fish color, that will have a second colored set of cards so that you can put 2 sets together and make a big 12-player game without it being too difficult for everybody, which is kind of neat.
I wonder if they're going to make the second fish just big enough to hold all 12.
I think it's going to be 2 single fish that are each going to hold one set, I believe.
Yeah. You know what fish would be able to hold them?
They make a 3-foot fish, which we've asked them to bring to Extra Life at the Board and Brew for people to take pictures with. Yeah. It is not a game. So if you've seen the giant Wits and Wagers fish, or the Wits and Wagers, I keep saying
that.
The giant Happy Salmon. The giant Happy Salmon is real. He's kind of like a duffel bag, but there's no game inside of him. So there isn't a giant 3-foot version of Happy Salmon.
Yeah, they're not full of oversized playing cards.
Yeah.
Which
it is not
would
like
be
the
awesome.
giant Rhino Hero version of Happy Salmon.
Yes. Which I would love to see.
It would be kind of fun.
Also, Andy Looney was there of Looney Labs. He was playing Andy versus everybody.
Yes.
Which is kind of a neat thing to be a part of. And it was just neat to have these events at something like this that you could sort of easily get to. So, Brian, do you convene? Have you convened?
I've been to 3 conventions. 2 were with you. So there was this one, there was Unpub, and then years ago I went to Otakon, which is technically convention but not gaming related.
Yeah.
Although there was gaming there.
There is always usually some gaming.
There was good, but it wasn't the focus. It was more like an offshoot. This was by far my favorite convention that I've been to.
Okay.
I liked Unpub. I liked this one a little more. It was there was a definite overlap. I recognized some of the same people there because we're not far away. It's DC instead of Baltimore. It's 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, I think this one was the most fun. It was very approachable. There were lots of just games being played everywhere. And I think part of it was the inherent difference between this and Unpub. Like, I like Unpub, but everyone was kind of selling or a little aggressive in trying to get you to play their game. And I totally understand why.
Oh, 100%. That's just built into that convention.
Yeah, it's not a fault. That's just a different part of the convention. Like we said, this was the most inclusive convention of anything that I've been to in a long time. And I think part of that was the Georgetown University probably somewhat, but as I understand it, Washingcon, the first one, that was sort of their focus too, was to be super inclusive, and it really was. Like, I've never seen that, because usually there's a bit of a stereotype with
white dudes,
gamer types,
white dudes,
like middle-aged pudgy white dudes who probably haven't left the house in a while. And I whatever, you look at me, I could fit into that.
I do often.
Yeah. So but it seemed like it was a cool crowd. It was easy. It was fun. You could just kind of step into any game They had the little flags where you could put up a flag and ask for more players.
And that's the only way you know you have a country is if you have a flag.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. So, yeah, I liked it.
So, Mike, with your convention background, I know you did some sci-fi cons.
Yeah, I've done Balticon a couple of times. Oh, God, the first one of those was 94. So, yeah, I also fit into the middle-age part of that.
You're old.
Yeah. Although I was in high school at the time. So, at least I wasn't 30 years old back then. Uh-huh. I went to Atlanticon when that still existed. I've been to a bunch of different cons. They're all a little bit different. I would say that this one, I have definitely never been to one. I have to jump on that bandwagon and say I've never been to one that was this inclusive, that was this welcoming, I would say, to just about everyone, no matter what your background was, no matter what your interests were in terms of gaming. Because we had everything from our extremely light games. I mean, we were playing Happy Salmon, we were playing Loop and Chewy.
Yeah, we had the 6-player Loop and Chewy out.
That was drawing a crowd.
Which is certainly not a heavy cardboard kind of game. And on up to wargaming.
Yep.
Like full-on wargaming.
What about the guy with the 3D space battle?
That was something.
That was there.
Yeah, a guy next to us was setting up PVC piping with strings hanging down, and Micro Machine would look like bat wings to me that he was sort of taping to parts of it.
Yeah, there were
spreadsheets.
It was a PVC pipe framework with a net on top from which he could hang all of these things, and then various things hung at various levels, and I could see people doing things with tape measures to try to. Yeah,
I mean, it's not a commentary on me. I'm just saying that the diversity of games there is something, not just the crowd, but the diversity of games was something that
is
something cool.
Got to be pretty darn complex right there. And Loop and Chewy is not.
Yeah, next to Loop and Chewy and Happy Salmon.
Although I do like that they're in the same theme.
Yes.
It is both space sci-fi.
And I was also amused that when we were doing the Happy Salmon Festival, people would come up, kind of look at what you were doing, and you'd say, here, take a deck, I'll show you how to play. And more times than not, people were going, okay, sure, which I'm not used to. I mean, we had one guy who was like, I think I'm just going to watch. And we're like, no, this is probably a thing you should play. He's like, okay, then, and walked away. But that was one person out of everybody we encountered.
I don't think I even saw that guy.
It was a thing. But it's just really neat to kind of have a shindig like that, and it's really cool to be a part of it. And if you're really looking for something where you want to dip your toe into kind of doing a convention,
and you happen to be anywhere in the D.C., Virginia area, a D.C., Virginia, Maryland area,
I think this is a great one to consider. And then I always forget, Rocki, because you used to do a lot of anime conventions.
Yes.
So how are you feeling with this compared to those? Or is it just so different that it's not...
It is very different. The major factor for me was the volume of people was way less.
Okay.
Because last time I went to an anime convention, it was cram-packed full of people.
Well, Otakon is big.
Yes. No cosplayers, obviously, at the gaming convention.
Yes.
No, there were a couple people who were dressed... There was 2 different people I saw who were dressed as whatever the girl is from Pokemon.
Okay.
Really?
Okay. Misty?
Yeah, Misty, with the red suspenders and the little top.
I
and
did
the
not see that at all.
Yeah, there were 2 different ones with the little red pigtails and everything.
Okay, that works because it's vaguely gaming.
I don't know that it was
gaming, but...
related, but...
They might have just been students at Georgetown and just walked in and figured it was similar people.
They were in playing games, and they were clear, this wasn't their normal clothes that happened to look like... It wasn't like they wore an Ash Ketchum hat, and I said they're cosplaying.
Okay.
But my first... gaming con experience was at Otakon because I had bought we didn't play test this at all.
Yes.
And I was just randomly in the hallway and the people next to me were like, we bought that too and we were about to try it for the first time. Do you want to play too? And I was like, yes, random strangers, I would.
That was a lot creepier. Especially with the face you made.
Yes.
Have you been to anime conventions? Creepy happens.
No. It was fun. It was fun.
Very good. So what we're going to do for this episode is we're not going to take any advertising breaks. We're just going to keep going through. We're going to talk about 2 games we ran into at the con. But first, we're going to do the thing we know you're listening for, which is What the Food?
What the Food?
What the Food? We'd also like to welcome Josh back to the show.
Hey!
Because Josh was not at Washingcon with us.
Josh not at
Washingcon. We would have liked to have him there, but he had other things to do.
Yeah. Speak for yourself.
Okay, I would have liked to have him there.
So we have 2 chocolate bars here that a couple of my trivia players brought us. Thank you, Cricket and Karen. I know you don't listen, but I feel better having thanked you. Yeah. That they smuggled in from Canada. They're circus-themed bars.
They are Cadbury Dairy Milk Presents Marvelous Creations. Marvelous Creations. One is jelly popping candy flavor, and one is strawberry cookie sundae.
Let's start with strawberry cookie sundae.
Oh, okay.
Because I think the popping candy is going to be more ridiculous.
You don't want to start popping and locking early.
No.
You got to work your way up to that.
The taffy twerking chocolate, and it just
Yeah,
It becomes a whole
Man.
thing.
Don't want that.
And I am going to follow the directions on the back. It says flip it and smash it and share it.
It already looks a little smashed.
Rocki smash!
You couldn't see the Rocky Smash either. It was something.
And then it says
She
peel
did the
me back
smash.
and gather round.
She did the Rocky smash.
Presentation is
It
extra
was a
points.
Gamecast smash.
It was a
She did the Rocky smash.
She's still doing the Rocky Smash,
Nice.
apparently.
Yeah.
There you go. Everyone has chocolate. I should do that in the mic. Now everyone has chocolate.
Chocolate.
Take chocolates.
Which it's-
Gather round. It says so.
Gather round, children.
There's a distinct aroma coming out from that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. That is.
Dairy, strawberry.
Yeah, Zooks. And it's all weird, odd-shaped pieces that are like poorly fitted together cobblestones.
Because Rocky
I was
Smash.
about to say Rocky, but
It looks like
even the
it's
top, yeah.
intentionally meant to break up in uneven ways.
I'm very confused.
I'm tasting none of the strawberry.
I get a little strawberry, yeah. It's like got strawberry Rice Krispie things in it. Or like they're crunchy like Rice Krispies. Almost.
Is there like a
I think they're
toffee
malted.
thing in there?
I have no
maybe
idea
that's
what
it
this is.
It's like strawberry malted or
There are
something.
little tiny strawberry jelly bits in it.
Yes.
Oh, I haven't gotten jelly. I got
Yeah.
they're like little malted things. Oh, there's
That's
the
what
jelly.
the chewy thing is, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do
Not
it.
that chewy.
Yeah.
Not the Lupin kind.
Yeah, those are chewy.
Well, it certainly is
This
a
is
flavor.
such a weird texture. I'm getting like a chewy malted milk thing, and then
You
like
get the chocolate,
squishy...
yeah. And you got the Rice Krispie, like crunch. And
And it's the Cadbury chocolate, which is different because usually when you have candy down here, it tends to be Hershey's chocolate.
Yeah.
But Cadbury's more common, I guess, in Canada.
I suppose.
We don't have a lot of Cadbury bars around here.
Oh,
No.
Canada.
They're creamier. I like it, but it's a different kind of chocolate, and there's like 2 textures going on. There's the little malted crunchy bits,
Yeah.
and then there's the gummy strawberry bits.
I'm not getting even a lot of strawberry taste. I got a ton of strawberry smell off of it.
I get
Not a
little-
ton.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a strawberry taste. It's not strong.
No,
No,
it's
but
not
it's-
as strong as I'd expected.
Yeah, the little gummy bits are definitely not chocolate flavored. You can tell that they're sweet.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No, I like it. I would eat it again.
Different.
In fact, I want
Matter of fact,
to.
yeah, I was going to say, give me another piece.
You know,
That's my
Rocky
way of saying Josh.
Smash.
I think what you're chasing there is the phosphorylated glycerides. I think
There's
that's
a
probably what
distinct
it is.
flavor of phosphorylated glycerides
Yeah,
right
yeah.
in the back of the palate.
Yeah.
It hits you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I keep my phosphorated gloss alive.
Well, that's where the receptors for that are on your tongue. You know, you can really,
I'm happy with that.
Josh Smash.
Josh Smash.
So, I'll start to my left. Rock, you taking this to a party?
Yes, I would. It's interesting.
How about you, Josh?
Okay. I mean, I still don't know what's in my mouth right now.
That's not a good place to be.
And if,
has that ever stopped you from taking a thing to a party?
no.
How about you, Bryan?
Who's the kind of party I'm taking a candy bar to?
I don't know why we feel the need to qualify it.
I mean, I don't know why you don't think we should qualify it, but
This
yes,
is not a candy bar
this is a bar-shaped piece of candy.
that you beat into submission and share with your friends.
Well, that's part of the fun. So, yeah, I would take it.
How about you, Mike?
Well, you mean the thing I can't stop eating?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would.
Here's the main thing I really like about this. So we do this every time we take it to a party. We build a brand on it, blah, blah, blah. And every time we've got like, Brian, well, okay, this is the kind of party where I would take a chocolate bar.
You're just jealous nobody made a meme out of you.
Okay, this chocolate bar, more than anything we've done, wants desperately to be taken to a party.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird shapes, it's weird textures,
It's
you
also
beat it.
really big.
It has, yeah.
It's huge.
It
is
specifically says share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really dig that. I don't even know that I love the taste in my mouth, but I would take this to a party because this really is genuinely interesting.
It is 180 grams, however much that is.
In American.
In
Pretty
American.
heavy.
It's like 14
in
pounds.
Imperial.
It's a little bit less than a fifth of a kilogram.
Thanks, Josh. I
That
appreciate it. It's a little bit less than a fifth of a kilogram.
Yeah,
I
fifth of a
think you
kilogram.
have failed to understand that. Thank you, NASA.
So-
My calculations say it's 6 pounds.
Okay, so we're moving on to our next bar. Rock, what do we have here? Because you look confused.
Calculations
Yes, it is.
might be a little off.
Yeah,
Your calculations might be a little
I'm
off.
sorry, radio. The look over there. Yeah, didn't catch the look.
No, the radio doesn't work on
Podcast.
yeah, whatever.
So this one is jelly popping candy. The pictures looks like jelly beans being fired out of a cannon with
And
little
three
pop-ons.
of us just started popping.
Just
I
started
was
popping.
politely ignoring.
Anyone want to pop and lock, or are we not doing that?
No. It's
It doesn't
just,
translate
it's
well
just
on
popping.
radio.
Yeah, there's no locks
just
in this
popping.
candy.
You can't lock that in.
The confused look is that I'm trying to look at the ingredient list to find anything
Oh,
that I
that's the
recognize.
confused look.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
That's why you didn't look
I mean,
up.
I imagine somewhere in there is probably like
Sugar.
chocolate, and
Water.
I
sugar.
bet the first thing is sugar.
In
I
fact,
think the first thing, the third thing, and the fifth thing might be sugar.
no. First thing is sugar, and then modified milk ingredients, cocoa butter, unsweetened chocolate, and then glucose syrup.
Okay. So it's a sugary candy bar, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
If you would excuse me.
Rocky smash! Rocky smash some more!
So gummy popping candy, is that so? It's like a gummy pop rock. Is it
I
a thing
imagine
that
it's
exists?
got to be like gummy and Pop Rocks.
So kind of like the last one was malted and gummy. This one is pop rocks,
And gummy.
I would like to see a gummy pop rock. That would be weird. But fun.
I think scientifically impossible.
All right, so first off, this one
Nothing's
has like
impossible.
little gritty bits sticking out of it. Just as a note. Do I need to smash more?
No,
Oh, damn.
Yes,
Wait,
yes,
bacon.
you do. Please, Rocky, can you smash some more?
This one just smells like chocolate.
Oh, wow. So, you bite in and you get a little caught into something gummy, and then you hear the sound of Pop Rocks bouncing off your teeth.
Oh yeah, I didn't feel it. I just hear it in my mouth, and now I. Oh
I
yeah.
can hear it in my head.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Well, that is fun. I don't care who you are.
No, not enough pop rocks.
No, there's not enough
Whoa.
Pop Rocks for anybody. Yeah. I am very clearly eating a jelly bean, and I also hear Pop Rocks in my head.
My teeth are just stuck on jelly bean,
Okay.
and I've heard that there might be Pop Rocks.
There are.
Yeah.
Are you not getting them yet?
Close your mouth and just stop chewing for a second.
Close your mouth, Josh.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to chew it up just a little bit, and then all of a sudden, and then pause.
My mouth is confused because it thought we were eating chocolate, but my teeth are stuck together with jelly bean.
Yeah, there's gummy jelly beanish bits,
And
then-
also, something is mildly exploding in my mouth.
but it's like one pop rock per piece. It's not a lot.
This might be like the most party candy bar I have ever eaten.
Yes.
There is a party in my mouth
Oh, yeah.
right now.
And everyone is invited to the party in my mouth.
I want another piece.
And it's not like what's the Hershey's one, the Connect 4 or whatever it is.
I don't think that's what it's called.
The gotta catch 'em 5.
Catch 22?
Nope. It's certainly not a sequel.
You mean the Zero bar?
No, was it the
Whatchamacallit?
No, not whatchamacallit. It's something with 5 in it.
Take 5?
The Furious 5.
The Take 5.
The Fabulous Five?
Yeah, Take 5.
Take 5 is a bar I believe made by her. This is so weird because I've
Studio
swallowed
54?
the chocolate and all I can hear the Pop Rocks in my head.
The point is that is an amalgamation of candies.
Yes.
And whatever. It's not a party candy. It's just a very confused candy bar.
Yeah.
This is a party candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might be the most party candy
Yeah.
ever. This is the Andrew WK of candy bars.
It likes to party.
It likes to party hard
And is also a virtuoso, apparently.
and is also a virtuoso.
And occasionally cuts itself. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, and it's not like, I was a little worried because if it was just Pop Rocks embedded in chocolate,
Yeah.
that would be really strange. It's not. There's a Pop Rock sensation, but it's not like occasionally you bite into this super sweet Pop Rock thing and then you keep going.
No.
You don't taste them.
All of a sudden you just hear them.
You're like, why are my teeth crackling? Oh God, I need to go to the dentist. Oh no, never mind.
Oh, I paid for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Whew.
No, there's something snapping and popping right under my tongue.
If I could have one more piece of that. And Rocky, you taking this to a party?
Yeah, it is a party.
I have to say, Canadians, I know you're out there. You need to send these to Americans so that they can experience this, because this is absolutely fantastic. Josh, taking this to the party?
This is a party game.
I am.
This is party candy.
Peel me back and gather round.
Bryan,
It says it right on the label.
Brian, what?
taking this to the party?
Yes.
Mike?
Wow.
Yep.
Well, so there you go. These are pretty awesome.
Yeah, these are wonderful.
If you get a chance.
These are tasty and fun.
Yeah,
Hey, Cadbury, sell these in America, please.
please. Because these are...
This might be one of those things that they're not allowed to. There's a weird Cadbury Hershey thing.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. You could, I mean, it wouldn't be quite as good if you put Hershey chocolate, but embed these things in. Somebody make this.
Yeah, because this is like, once again, I don't know if this is not the kind of candy bar you're buying all the time.
No,
But this is definitely, of all the times we've ever said, hey, would you take this to a party? This is the one candy bar I would genuinely take to any party. Yeah, smash a thing up and have a piece. Tell me what you think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to try like the jelly popping candy we had. I'd like to try the I don't know, the candy corn crumping candy. I think would be pretty awesome.
Is one of these going to teach me how to Dougie?
I can only hope.
Air by Dougie. Air by Dougie.
I think there's a peanut dab, though.
I was not expecting that from Mike.
Wait a minute, Mike.
Just a dabble, do you?
Peanut dabs were one of those old candies, and like you get those in the boxes of candies from the 50s.
I think it was older than that.
No, that's
Yeah.
a Charleston chew.
Oh, okay. It's not a peanut dab?
No.
No.
Okay.
You know, the 20s are coming back.
Oh, well, that's good because we're ready with the party games. Remember, you can call us on the hotline at 30 Party Game 30 PARTYGAMA. You can
It's
leave
not
that
a
last D for savings.
hotline bling.
To get the gams.
Pick the gams,
Gotta
which
leave
apparently
me.
are coming back.
Leave the E off to get the gams.
Yeah, that's what you do. Wow. So we're going to talk to you. We're going to talk to you about two games that we ran into at the convention. The first one from the fine folks at Steve Jackson Games. I can't believe we're covering one of their games on the show. We're also like 80% sure that the person who showed us this game was Steve Jackson.
Yeah. He was a very nice gentleman.
Yeah.
Give us a call at the party game.
Let us know if you are Steve Jackson. Give us a call and let us know what you think.
Yep.
You were very nice, and I thank you very much.
Yeah,
Indeed.
even if he wasn't Steve Jackson, he was a very nice man whose name happened to be Steve.
And was working for Steve Jackson. So we've decided we're asking no more questions. He looked very similar to old pictures of Steve Jackson we've seen.
Yeah, that picture of Steve Jackson from 1994 looked like what possibly could have been the gentleman who dealt this game out for us.
And the game we're talking about is Simon's Cat, based on the internet cartoon of the same name. Rocki, do you want to provide any background on Simon's Cat before you tell them how the game works?
Simon's Cat is a YouTube video series that, according to this box, has over 680 million views.
I really like that. I just wanted that to be over 680 views.
It pretty much centers around this gentleman named Simon and his cat.
You
Hence,
don't say.
We have a title. A lot of the cartoons start with the cat wanting food, and Simon is doing something else, generally sleeping or reading a book or something else, or the cat wants to go outside, or the cat has a need that is unfulfilled and causes trouble trying to fulfill that need.
Jane Austen
say.
presents.
Simon's Cat.
Simon's Cat.
Josh had
The
not heard of this
Lifetime movie.
coming in, and the main thing we kind of conveyed to Josh was, you know how Garfield was supposed to be Snoopy but for cat people, but instead it was just a sellout and horrible? This is Snoopy for cat people.
I hate Mondays. I can relate. I like lasagna.
Lasagna.
I also like lasagna.
I don't know the last time I had a good lasagna.
How do your swimsuits fit, Brian? Because maybe you also can feel kindred to Kathy too. Maybe you just feel really close to all cartoon characters. Ugh.
Is your world a circle?
I leave footprints everywhere I go.
Is your head a strange cone?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Once
Like
upon a
a
time,
Zippy
ladies and
reference?
gentlemen,
Yes,
Really?
I was exactly as a Zippy the Pinhead reference.
Yeah.
there used to be cartoons that were in things called newspapers.
Yeah, once upon a time, there used to be these things called newspapers.
Yeah, that if you go to gocomics.com, they used to print those things out and hand them out to you at your house for a small fee instead of letting you go to the website.
And you would always turn to that page and be like, why am I paying for this?
Who's Beetle Bailey?
And why do I care?
In what year was this funny? We asked back in the early 90s.
Dick Tracy, they're still printing this?
You know what's great is a cereal that you get 3 strips or 3 cells of every week.
You know what I used to hate, as we're doing this like old people thing, is when you would only read the one on Sunday, but they would decide they were not going to go from Sunday to Sunday. They were going to continue the one from like Friday.
Yeah, and you only had the Sunday edition of the paper.
And you were like, who reads, even in the 90s, we're like, who reads a newspaper midweek? I was like a kid in school. I was like, I'm not a businessman. I don't need this information. Get your news out of my face.
And it wasn't in color till Sundays anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rocki, tell us a little bit about the quote-unquote play of Simon's Cat.
Wow, just harsh right out the gate.
Man, you know,
No,
don't see the need for the
you guys said a
harshness.
lot of nice things about the person that showed you the game.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get to the
Both
game.
of the people that showed us the game were nice.
All right. Well, this is vaguely Uno-y, and also, I believe, what you referred to as a trick-taking game. Is that a thing?
Except it's a trick not taking game.
Yeah.
But
So
yes.
you do not want them. You do not want.
Yeah.
It is a deck of cards and broken up into different suits. Each suit is a different color and has a different animal on it, such as the cat and the kitten and the dog and hedgehogs, and I believe there are gnomes. Also.
And
Gnomes.
rats.
And rats.
Gnome.
Yes, there are rats. The numbers vary by suit. So, for instance, the gnomes only have 1 and 2. The cat goes up to 12. And so I believe the kitten also goes to 12.
But the cat only goes down to 3.
Exactly.
The cat starts at a 3, goes up to a 12. The kitten, I believe, starts at a 3, goes up to a 10. And then there's another suit that starts at 3 and goes up to an 8.
Why wouldn't you
So-
just make 10 the
Dog.
max?
Well, I mean,
Because
because
this one
it's
goes
louder.
to 12.
Mine goes to
It's-
11.
It's, yeah.
And 12.
It's because
So-
you guys jumped in. We were about to do that for 5 minutes.
Yes, I know.
So, so yeah, not all the numbers line up from suit to suit. There's also a deck of Simon cards, and I'll get to that in a second. You deal out the whole deck, less whatever would make it uneven. You would put those aside. And whoever has the pink 3 goes first. That is the card with the cat pointing at his mouth because he's hungry. Because, of course, he is.
Yeah.
He's a cat. So, yeah, start with that. The next person either needs to put down a 3 or a pink card, and so on and so forth. If you get to the point where you cannot play on the pile, you take the pile, and that's a mess. You've made a mess. Once everyone gets rid of all the cards in their hand, the person with the most messes, not the individual cards in the piles, but individual piles, the most messes,
So whoever took the most tricks, doesn't matter
Yes.
how many cards were the
Yes.
trick or the
Exactly.
values of the card.
gets a Simon card because you've attracted Simon's attention and he does not like messes. Dun dun dun. First player to 3 Simons loses. The back of the box specifically says, "You are a cat. Do cat things. Don't get caught. Blame everyone else. Don't let Simon catch you."
I wouldn't even say that the limited amount of theme this game has fits into what's on the back of the box.
I could say no, because you're contributing to making the mess bigger and bigger and bigger, but you want to make sure someone else takes the trick, so that giant mess is yours.
Are you a cat though?
Sometimes I'm a gnome or a dog or a hedgehog.
That's basically it. It is a...
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is, isn't it?
It sure is, yeah.
Sure is that.
Yeah.
All of the art is actually by the Simon gentleman,
Yes.
the creator of the series.
Yeah.
He did it all himself.
Yeah, they're all cute little cats and
Yes.
related cat themed or
Couple cat butts.
whatever. There's several cat butts.
Yes, because of
And
course
we have
there are.
more cat buttons because we got promos, basically.
That is true. There were 2 zero cards, 1 pink and 1 purple we got at the convention that were promo onlys. So
Yeah.
So it adds 2 zeros to the deck that are not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first we thought there was only 1 0, which makes it a super trump card because you can only match the color. But then there's 2 zeros, so you can match
Yeah.
a 0 maybe.
Yeah.
But still, it changes the gameplay a little bit.
Yeah. So essentially, it is Uno with cat butts.
It certainly felt like there was an entire box full of cat butts there.
Yeah.
There were quite a few.
Yeah, there was there certainly
The
was.
whole game almost.
So what'd you think of this game, Rock?
I think this game is really cute. It is a I would call it a cute time waster.
Okay.
I guess if you have a couple minutes to do something instead of just stare at each other, you can teach it real fast and play a couple hands of that, and you'd be cutely entertained.
Now, I'm going to jump into someone who disagrees. Josh, how do you feel about this one?
This game is a handful of cat butts.
Now, if you could qualify your opinion, although I find it darling, what makes you feel like this is, and I'll use your terms, a handful of cat butts?
Pretty much everything in the game is irrelevant.
Including what you have to say about it, apparently.
That candy is wonderful. Remember, What the Food is sponsored by the fine folks.
You're welcome.
What the Food is sponsored by the fine folks at Steamworks Coffee at steamworkscoffee.net. We want to thank them for sponsoring What the Food. I'm glad you smashed that candy in the middle of Josh's description, so it gave me a second to get that segue.
It wasn't that loud.
That wasn't really a segue, but okay.
So Josh, handful of cat butts.
Yes.
Yeah. And why is that again?
Basically, as you're going through the game, the only important thing is not to come in last. Given the tricks that are out there, generally everyone's going to take between 1 and 3 every single time. The whole last round of the game is just you playing a card the next person can't play, them playing a card the person after them can't play. It's just one after another. And so there's not a lot of strategy involved. Even if you were perfectly counting the cards, you have a finite number of options and nothing to do in terms of exercising those options any differently. I could have perfect information about your hand. We could all play face up, and it would barely make a difference.
Agreed. Bryan, how'd you feel about this one?
I don't necessarily disagree with anything that Josh just said. I still like the game. I do agree that last round, usually everyone adds one trick to whatever their total is, except for one person who luckily has either the same number or the same color, but there's no skill to it because everyone's got one card in your hand, so it's just random luck as to whether the guy to your left or right or whatever direction you're going plays a card that you can play. There's no skill to that last round, so everyone, it would almost be worth it to say it ends when everyone has one card in their hand, so that last round just doesn't happen because there's no skill to it. But otherwise, I also agree with everything Rocki said. It's fun, it's quick, it's light. You can kind of use it as something interesting and neat to do in between, if you're waiting for people to show up and you don't want to just sit around and talk to each other and you need something else to do that's more interesting. You could play a game based on an internet cat. So yeah, I think it's neat for what it is, as long as you understand that it's a lot like Uno, but it plays way faster. Because Uno can drag for hours. Because Uno is one of those games where you can just prevent someone from winning.
Yes.
For a very long time. This doesn't have that. So
yeah, we played this game with 5 of us to the point where everyone had 2 points waiting for the third point. So we played it as long as you could possibly play this game. And that was maybe 15 minutes?
At most.
Yeah. Which I think is great about it. You're right. For something like this, it needs to be super duper fast. And it is super duper fast.
Yeah.
Mike, how'd you feel about this one?
There's not much of a game here. There's not much of anything. If you like Simon's Cat, the internet series, I guess you'd like it for the theme. But that's about it. It's I hate to say this. I really hate to poo all over Steve Jackson games, but it seems it's got the same rationale for its user base as Munchkin. If you are amused by the jokes, if you're amused by the art, then you're going to like it. If not, there's not a lot in there in terms of gameplay for you. If you're a gamer just for game's sake, there's not much game there.
Yeah, there really is not a ton. I kind of agree with Bryan. I know intellectually there's not much game there. I know there isn't. I know I have almost no decision-making whatsoever. I still don't care. I'll play it. I don't want to play a night of it, but I can certainly sit there and just kind of kill some time and flick some cards. I've now played it 4 or 5 times. I've enjoyed all of my plays of it. Although I do recognize at all points it's almost not even really like I'm playing a game. I'm just sort of doing a thing.
Yeah, you only get 2 or 3 rounds where the decisions matter, and then at the point you have 2 cards left in your hand and one of them is allowed to be played.
Yeah.
It does not matter.
Which is really straight. I don't know. It's $7, so it is plenty cheap for what it is. It plays in about 15 minutes, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. And there's something to be said for kind of a popcorn thing you can do. But yeah, I do think this almost borders on not being a game.
Yeah, I mean, at the point that you're just getting a small card game that you can play real quick, I'd go with like something like Raid 7 or that'll play only a few people, or if you have more people, you might want to play something like Tichu.
Brothers, you can't come in Tichu as a new player. Rocki came in as a new player where everybody else had already had, I don't know, about enough hours to fly an airplane under their belt.
And I never want to play it again.
Have I played? I don't think I've played Tichu.
I don't think you have, and we
how
could
does
make
that
a real
go?
miserable experience for you.
You're selling it.
Tichu is a wonderful game. It is a wonderful game.
It is a wonderful game.
It is really a wonderful
But-
game. Maybe not so much with Josh.
So maybe
It
just
is a
Rocki
roller coaster of adventure with Josh.
So just Rocki and I should play it with like someone else who's never played it.
With
You
two
guys
more
could
people
not
that have
play.
never played
Yeah,
it.
because you
And
really
you might love
should
it.
play it in 4-player partner mode.
Yeah.
Michelle and Don or something.
Yeah, and see if maybe you guys can get that in there. So I think we know how everybody's going to feel, but would you take it to a party? I'm going to start with Josh.
Oh, that'd be good. No.
Brian?
I might as like some sort of filler, like we're waiting for people to play, or if there's another game but it doesn't quite play everyone.
Yeah.
As like a side game. But I wouldn't make it a feature of the party. But like if it was there and we're like, hey, we need something for like 4 of us to do for 15 minutes while the pizza gets here. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike?
Nope.
I don't know how much game is here, but I do know, kind of like Brian said, if we're killing a couple minutes waiting for food to show up or a couple more people are coming to the party, I'm perfectly okay with this. I really don't mind it. I think it's fun. I still have to question how much game is there.
Yeah.
But
Well.
there is some fun to be had. And then I just want to end on the positive note. Rock, would you take it to a party?
I don't think it's a good fit for a party, but a daily I carry it around with me game if we need something to do game.
Because I know you were talking about sort of taking this with you to work.
I would never play any games at work. Work is serious business, and I need to focus on my craft at all times.
Serious business.
That being said, sometimes you're sitting around.
Sometimes we have
waiting.
lunch breaks.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
And this would be a great lunch break game. Plays in 10 minutes. You have a little bit of fun. You're rolling about your day.
Yeah.
So there you go. There is Simon's Cat from the fine folks at Steve Jackson. We picked that one up so that we could tell you about it. If you're looking for a game, you might want to look elsewhere. If you're looking for some fun, hey, take a gander. So we're talking about our second game of the episode. We actually ran into the guy who made this while we were at Washingcon. The game's called Twistocity. Twistocity.
Twistocity.
Thank you.
That's an awful
I
tongue
can't
twister.
tell if you did that on purpose, Bruce.
No, I really do. For some reason, this particular, every time I say it, I get it wrong.
It's thematically appropriate that you do.
That is true. Let me see the top of the box for a second.
The gentleman who we ran into, I believe, was Michael Keeley.
Michael Keeley, and right now, we did an interview with Michael Keeley, and if it actually came across and we have it, we will be playing that right now. If not, Bruce from the editing bay will be telling you some things about this game.
And about Michael Keeley.
And about Michael Keeley.
Hey guys, Bruce in the editing bay here. So as I warned you at the start of the show, I did a wonderful interview in the Georgetown Sports Hall of Fame, which is part of Hallway, with Michael Keeley, the creator, the designer of Twistocity. Asking about the game and how he came up with all that great stuff, and I can't get it off the recorder. So Michael, at some point we will definitely get that interview out as soon as I can get something to be able to read the card. That will happen. But what I can tell you is Michael, as a kid, had a stuttering problem, and one of the things he had to do to take care of that stutter in therapy was to read tongue twisters. And he said he just didn't like doing it. It wasn't something he enjoyed. He imagined that other kids like him wouldn't enjoy that. So he was trying to find a way to create a game that any kids that had those problems could play to have a little more fun. And he realized that he was having fun with everybody when he played that game. So he thought, hey, why not make this a thing other people can enjoy? So not only will it help people that potentially have sort of speech impediments and speech issues, but why don't we all have fun reading tongue twisters in weird accents and while doing funny things. And yeah, So that's basically it, was that it came from sort of a need or a desire to make Tongue Twister something a little more palatable, and became a party game from there. That is the quick and dirty version to get you back into the episode. At some point, as soon as I can get it off there, I will give like a little 3-minute episode just so that the full Michael Keeley interview is here. But for now, you know what? Let's jump back into this episode of the Party Gamecast.
So we're back. I certainly hope that was an interview with Michael Keeley. If not, I'm sure I told you wonderful things about wonderful, interesting things about Michael Keeley. So, Mike, tell us about Twistocity.
So, Twistocity is a fairly simple game. There are 2 types of cards. There are the Tongue Twister cards, and there are twist cards. Everyone starts the game with 1 twist card in their hand, and then someone starts the game by grabbing one of the Tongue Twister cards and putting a face up in front of them and immediately starting to try to read the Tongue Twister there. If he or she gets through it correctly, as voted for by the other players, they get to keep the card in front of them as a point. If not, the card goes back. And whether or not you got it correct, you will be drawing at least 1 twist card. If you got it correct, you will get 2. These twist cards can be played on other players at various times. There are personas, which you can play on someone before they've flipped up their tongue twister that they're going to be performing that turn, and it will make them do it as a particular persona, like as a pirate, or as a buff bodybuilder, or something along those lines. And there are some custom ones where you can tell them what to do. So you must do it. You must do yours in as let's say Mike Tyson, that sort of high-pitched voice.
I don't understand. How would Mike Tyson sound?
I don't understand either. I've just heard that it would be funny. Bruce, can you tell us?
Oh, I have no idea. Who is this Mike Tyson you speak of?
The chicken guy. I think he's the chicken guy.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
that's
Tyson Chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Purdue, like the guy who founded the university, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Yeah. Okay. Huh. Okay, so you would pick up a voice.
Yes. There are also other cards that will just mess with them in other ways. Like if they get it right, you could play a card that just steals their point from them or steals their awarded twists from them. There are cards that protect you from other people's cards. There are cards that allow you to repeat it if you got it wrong, that kind of thing. Action cards.
Force you to repeat it if you got it right and it was hard.
Yes, force someone else to repeat it if they got it right. And the game plays to a certain number of points depending on the number of players. In a 2 to 3 player game, it's up to 5 points. At 4 to 6 players, it's 4 points. And that's it.
Yeah, that is the whole gosh darn thing, is saying tongue twisters while people make you say it in funny accents and steal your points from you. We have one, in your best movie trailer voice. So for this one, if someone were to play this, Rocki just showed me one, that is the teaser trailer. Speak in your best movie trailer voice, start with, in a world where...
You're not going to say anything else?
No.
Okay.
In a world where Angelique critiques Monique's antiques.
There you go.
That was a short one.
Yeah, nobody gave me a card to go with it.
I was hoping you would just continue your discussion in that voice. I was hoping that's what
you
was
were
going to
hoping
happen.
that you had handed me this, so the whole time I would do it like this.
There you go.
Something like
there
that.
There you go, Josh.
Sound like a boxing announcer. Ding, ding, ding. And in this corner, Barry Bear buried a boy's blue bowl briskly beneath a bristly briar patch. Ding, ding, ding. That was
in a world where in old lots held a pot of gold. The gold in the pot sold for a lot. The sold gold brought more plots.
That was so good.
well,
do
that
it
was
again.
that was good.
So good. Do it again.
In a world where in old lots held a pot of gold. The gold in the pot sold for a lot. The sold gold brought more plots.
Man, so you'd win. You get the points, except for I get your point.
And that is exactly how the game rolls.
And I'm stealing all your twist cards that you were going to draw for getting it right.
Oh, good. So everybody got everything from me.
Here you go, Josh. There's one for you. Try it.
In a world where everyone steals all of your points.
You do not win.
Speak like you're talking to a little baby. Chippy the chubby chipmunk's cheeks carried chunks of chewed cherries. Ah.
You're welcome, Internet.
we played this game the first time and played it very straight, and we were like, this is not good. And we had to play it a second time, so we tried to do for a review of these. And the second game, for some reason, we got it. We got what you wanted to do and started to find this fun in it that was not there the first time.
Especially once we started making Rocki sing, because apparently that is Rocki's role in this game, is to sing.
Much
all
like
the singing cards.
yeah.
That was a thing that I had to do in front of other people.
And you
Over
did
and
it
over again.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 times for the same one because we just kept making you do it again.
And it wasn't just regular singing; it was opera singing,
Well, that-
and like angry rock star yelling. And
Yes.
And it was awesome.
It was pretty
It was
awesome.
awesome.
We kept making her do it because it was awesome.
I mean, you got the point for the opera one for sure, even
Thank
though
you.
I made you repeat it.
thank you very much. Although the theater singing didn't make any sense. It was like sing like a theater actor,
Yeah.
and the guy's holding a skull like he's doing Hamlet. It didn't make any sense. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't sing
Not
that.
a lot
I
of
don't-
And you were like,
But,
he's
you know.
clearly doing Smokey Joe's Cafe, if that's what this is supposed to be. He's not doing Hamlet.
But to be honest, I think, especially towards the end, we were going less for points and more for things we wanted to see happen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like I think Josh would do a really good version of this, even though he gets a point for it.
Ariana Grande.
Because that is...
Or what was yours? The high stepper.
Eni Kamosi.
Eni Kamosi, Josh said, okay, Bruce, do this like Eni Kamosi. And I said, you mean the high stepper, right? Because in my head, here was what I thought. Okay, Eni Kamosi is either the high stepper or a terrible African nation dictator. And if I get this wrong, the berating I am about to take.
No, you're thinking Indina Menzel.
Yes.
Idi Amin, Internet. He's thinking about Idi Amin.
No, that's the
Brian's
lady
making a joke.
That's the lady from Frozen that
John Travolta. Yeah,
John
no.
Travolta got her name wrong. Yeah,
I didn't want you to get all the hate mail that I'm sure that that comes
We're
from
about
these
to
sorts
get.
of things.
Just let it go.
We're getting the hate mail anyway.
One Rocki's just handed me. The persona is painfully perky. Speak like an overly perky game show announcer. Start with, you've just won, and end with, now back to you.
I feel like this is
It-
just.
You've just won! Dylan dialed Dale daily during dinner! Now back to you!
I just had to hear that.
wow.
Oh man, I'm sorry if anyone was listening to
Yeah,
that on
I hope you weren't
headphones.
listening close.
Yeah,
or you
that-
weren't, I also hope you weren't, like, hiding in a basement from someone while this was on a speaker softly.
Or
Yeah.
trapped in a small room wearing headphones.
Yeah.
With R. Kelly in a closet.
Or listening.
In a closet. So, the other neat thing you can do is they have ones where you can pick the persona you hand someone. So that was another fun moment, was not only did Josh do that to me, I gave Josh Ariana Grande, to which he said, I've heard the name, but what does she even sound like? So we're like, you know what? Perfectly fair question. We couldn't ask you to do this without letting you know, and pulled up on our phone Ariana Grande so that Josh could hear that woman sounds like a child.
Yeah, if you also don't know who Ariana Grande is, just find an internet interview with her for something on the YouTubes.
You guys.
Yeah, her talking in a normal voice is like a child who's slightly out of breath.
It
Yeah.
is
Like
it's
there's
something.
not quite enough air in the room.
Yeah, Ariana Grande talking is the thing to look up on Google.
But then watch one of her videos because there is a transformation that occurs. That, like, if you've heard her songs, you might think, oh, wow, a lot of that must be post-production. No, it turns out that is how she sounds. Not the pitch parts, the weird breathiness.
Well, I could
Yeah.
understand it because she was in the middle of a spin class. Like, I'd be a little out of breath, too.
Yeah, in that particular video. Yeah, but no, that weird breathy tone sounds like it's auto-tuned, but it's apparently just the way she talks, so maybe she sings that way.
The enunciation does not get any better either.
No.
No.
And that's the thing about this is, you know, we really, at the end, even at the end of game number 1, we were like, oh, this thing. And then all of these sort of magic moments happened in this second game. You do have to bring a certain amount of your own gravy to this one, but
Yeah, I will
did.
say I had a lot of fun, but I hate doing voices. I'm terrible at it. I always mess them up. But there's also ways to get out of it. Like there's enough intercept cards that you can just be like, nope. Now, if all 4 of you decided to force me to do a voice, I wouldn't have enough intercept cards to make it stop.
Yeah.
But I managed to do like 3 of them where I didn't have to do a voice just because I'm like, I hate this. And that falls into the category of game that I hate.
yes. And I knew that
for
coming
me.
in, so I was like, okay, we know this is going to be kind of a tender one for Bryan.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing like be spontaneous on command is not a type of thing that like that I do. It doesn't work for me. But I still had a ton of fun with this game, and I'd play it again. Because even if you mess it up, you're having fun. So I don't care that much.
Yeah, this definitely starts to fall into that, and I use this. This is stronger praise than maybe the game deserves, but it is sort of the lingo that we use around here, is that it falls into that sort of telestrations place, where I don't necessarily care about the score anymore. I'm just kind of having fun doing the thing.
Telestrations?
Yes.
I'm not familiar.
It's okay. Have you ever played Scrawl?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that.
It's like
Great
that.
game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cost
Yeah.
less and is better.
Yeah.
Or like Scribblish.
Or like Scribblish, but still in print.
Or Eat Poop You Cat.
Except an actual boxed game. Yeah, like all those things. So yeah, I was really shocked with this, that this was as entertaining as it was. I mean, it had some take that, but not in the kind of way... The game lacks a certain amount of seriousness that makes the take that not hurt quite so bad. Because you're like, oh, you did a good thing, and now I'm going to take your points. Oh, and I'm going to take all your cards from you. Oh, peace, that was a thing you used to do. Remember that time when you used to win things? You don't anymore.
Yeah, that is the fun. Like, force someone to say something 5 times over, and then after they've done it, steal all their points and cards.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
pretty miserable.
That would be an awful thing.
You'd be a terrible human being if you did something like that.
You sure would be.
Yeah, I bet you'd be real upset if someone did that to you. Too.
I understand.
Oh, yeah. That would be something to get mad at.
Especially if it's all one person and not the room teaming up on you, but all one person just
Yeah.
had their entire hand on you, one card at a time.
Yes.
And all they did was ask you to sound like an African dictator, and you were like, no.
No, I don't want to sound like that
I'm
woman
going to
from
be
Frozen.
bombastic.
I will say the most fun card was the one that got played on me, and there was no way it was going to happen. But the one where you get to combine your current persona with the persona that the last person had to do, and you have to switch in the middle of your tongue twister from one to the other.
Yes.
Which is really hard to just juggle in your head, especially for me. I knew there was no way I was getting, like, I got talk like a robot. I'm like, I could probably pull this off. And then the other one was and then that was Ariana Grande right before it. So halfway through I had to switch from the robot to Ariana Grande, and it just was not happening.
Oh, hey, okay, all right.
Robot Grande was not working.
Yeah, well, I got through the robot all right. I don't think it was the best robot, but I don't think I would have been disqualified
It was
for
an
my
acceptable robot.
Yeah, because
No,
you just talk
yeah.
kind of stilted.
Yeah.
You know, and you start with, like, you have to power up. and
Bleep
then
blorp.
Bleep blorp, and yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah. But it's a cool card. It's a neat idea. Just another way to mess with people.
Yeah. So would you take it to a party, Josh?
I would. I definitely would. I think it's a lot of fun, especially the dramatic enunciation parties that I like to go to. No, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Really? You go to a lot of dramatic enunciation parties, huh?
He goes to a lot of dramatic enunciation parties.
I feel like the emphasis wasn't quite on the right syllable, Josh.
Bleep blah bloop to you.
And a bleep blorp to you as well, sir. And to all of our robot listeners, thanks for listening.
101 111.
So, Brian, how about you? So, because we walked in, I knew you would be the person who would like this the least.
Yeah, is this a dramatic enunciation party?
It's a dramatic enunciation party.
Yeah, I still think I would. It was fun, even though it is not my kind of fun. The rest of the game made up for it, and the fact that I'm not great at some of these.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I'm picky with the intercepts, I guess.
Yeah.
I could avoid the ones that, like, if you told me Ariana Grande, I'd just be like, no. Or, here's the card. I'm not even trying.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, no, I had fun. I would take it, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 How about you, Mike?
Hey, Mike, I'd like you to give your response like a lord or a lady.
Can I choose between the two?
Yes.
You have to start with here, and end with carry on.
My wayward son.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say my wayward son. Just says carry on.
All right.
Unfortunately,
Checking that.
no. I'm gonna start. That's what I'm gonna do.
But that'll keep me from making more puns.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do.
Please leave all this in.
Yeah. Yes, I would definitely take this to a party. I quite enjoy the way that it makes other people do ridiculous things, even if I am not the winner. I feel like I have won just watching you make a fool of yourself. Carry on.
My wayward son.
There'll
See?
be board games when you are done.
Speak like an overly perky game show announcer. Start with You've Just Won, and with Now, back to you. So let's see if we can do this. You've just won a fantastic game! So much better than I expected. So fantastic. You very well might like it. I hope you protect your ears. Now back to you, Rocki.
Wow.
I my new car.
I hate you so much.
That's the card that was played on me, Mike. There's nothing I can do.
I have been given senile sensation. So that's the thing. I have to speak like an elderly person. In my day, we played games on the cars with the bucket seats and the rumble strips.
Did this get a little Cosby?
Got a little Cosby.
Got a lot Cosby.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to sound like... I don't know how to sound like an old person.
Would you take it to a party, Rock?
What? I can't hear you.
A party, Rock. Would you take it to a party?
A party?
A get together, Rock. Would you take it to a get together?
Yes, as
shindig?
long as there's punch and pie.
What's in that punch?
You can't eat pie anymore, remember?
Rawr.
Wow. That guy.
So, guys, there's the brand of non sequitur that you're coming across here.
Yeah.
Wow.
You asked what was in that.
You can, wow.
Dice Tower Network
She
cares.
likes to
Yes,
party.
thank you. Remember, Dice Tower Network cares.
DTNC.
She likes to party.
She likes
Like the
likes
Venga
to.
Boys?
You can find this at twistocity.com, TWISTOCITY, my city, your city,
Twistocity.
Twistocity,
Twisto City.
Twistocity.
Twistocity.
And I recommend you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to agree. I have
Yep.
to agree. And with that, that is our, in theory, shortened episode of the Party Gamecast. It's the Party Gamecast. I've been your moderator, Bruce. Joining me has been Rocki, Josh,
The 7-7.
Bryan,
Twistocity.
and Mike.
My wayward son.
I want to thank all of you for listening. I want to thank Shifty Pop for creating and singing and writing our theme. You can find her on Fiverr. I want to thank the fine folks at Steamworks Coffee at steamworkscoffee.net for sponsoring What the Food?
What the food?
What the Food?
What the fruit?
We want to thank the fine folks from Washingcon for letting us be a part of their convention. We really do
Yeah, we
appreciate
do.
it.
That was fun.
Yes.
We want to thank the fine folks that remind me of the game company name again, Mike, that brought us Twistocity,
Mass Middle Game.
Mass Middle Games, and the guy who did it because I'm terrible remembering names. It's on the box.
That is Michael Keeley.
Yes, Michael, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. We thank all of you for listening. Remember, you can find us in all the different places. You can find us on Twitter.
At Party Gamecast.
You can find the cat.
At Party Gamecast.
Yes, at Party Gamecast. You can find us on Facebook at
At Facebook.
Facebook.
At
Bleep,
Facebook.
bleep, blorp.
But
You can find us on Board Game Geek. We have a guild there.
I say.
I say, we got a guild.
What was that?
A new car. It's the same. It's the same. Anything you say, it sounds kind of like that. Yeah. Hey, there's a reason I'm not working for Price is Right. Okay, guys. I'm trying here.
There's
This
a
is-
reason.
Well, that's one of them.
Just the one.
A reason.
I believe that is one of the reasons.
Only
Yes.
reason.
Well, sir, we've looked over your resume, and it seems you have a complete inability to modulate your voice.
It shouldn't be a problem. I've seen the show.
Oh, my ears.
Remember, you can check us out on the website at thepartygamecast.com. You can email me at thepartygamecast@gmail.com. Or you can email anybody else there. I'll eventually get the message to them.
He says
would
that.
appreciate it.
He
Yeah,
never-
you guys
no.
never send anything to them.
Now, what happens
As far as we
if
know.
you're gonna email you, but you're running low on life, and it's kind of going down and down and down and dwindling your concern? It's going to hit zero, and then what would you do in that case?
I don't know what I would do in that case, Josh, but I have a feeling
You might need another one. Might need
If you
another
needed
life.
like an extra
I'd put in another quarter.
life.
I'd get a...
he would, in fact, do that.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, Josh, because what we needed was more puns.
We need a one-up.
No, that was a segue,
That
not
was
a pun.
forced segue.
Yes, and
Was
you...
it?
Yes. I'd put in another quarter and get an extra life.
No, once you got there, I got it. I thought,
Hey, Bruce.
I said the
'cause
word
There's this fundraiser
extra.
that you're doing.
there certainly is this fundraiser we're doing, Josh. Thank you.
Oh, is
Mike,
there?
Mike, remind people about Extra Life.
I think we might have just done that. So Extra Life is an event that we're going to be holding on November 5th from 9 a.m. to November 6th at 9 a.m. At the Board and Brew at College Park, Maryland, where we're going to be playing games and having all sorts of fun activities for about 24 hours. And you can donate on our behalf to the Children's Miracle Network. And you can find our page if you go to extra-life.org. That's extralife.org. And search for the Party Gamecast. You will find us. You'll find our team. You can also join our team and participate that way. And we would really appreciate it if you would donate on our behalf. You can look us up individually, and you can donate for Mike, because that is the way to go.
No, it's Bryan is the right way.
You do not want to
want
vote.
to put that Bruce money up. That sweet Bruce money.
No Bruce money, no Bryan money, only Mike money.
Mike already has money. Bryan needs more money.
Bruce has no money.
By the time they hear this, Mike might not have as much money as Bruce or
Bruce has
Bryan.
no money.
You never know. I think Mike money is the way to go.
Mike has enough. Bryan needs more.
Anyway, you can donate to the Children's Miracle Network on our behalf, and we feel better about it.
Donate to Rocki.
Don't donate.
Donate to Rocki.
Just donate to someone. We don't care.
And
Anyone.
there will be information in the show notes for exactly how you can find the team, join the team, be a part of the event. We appreciate your consideration. If you have both the time and the desire, thank you so much. And thank you so much for listening. Rawr.
I don't know why Josh is just making hand movements on
Are
the
you-
podcast.
Are you a cat, Josh?
All nimbly bimbly.
Nambly Pambly?
Do I look nambly-pambly to you, boy?
Little.
Do I look like a cat?
Look, I am describing this game right now.
Rawr.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let me take care of this. Mike, what you're hearing is interference from all the different phones in the room.
Okay,
That-
it wasn't happening before.
No, it was happening in the last episode as well.
I didn't hear it before.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, no, it came up a couple of times,
Not
and
hearing
it
it
was
at all.
not lasting more than 3 seconds, so that's why I wasn't worrying about it.
Okay.
But that is what you're hearing. And I just want you to know you're not crazy. You are actually hearing that.
Hey, Mike,
Okay.
you're crazy.
Well, yeah, but not very
Do what the voices
I
tell
bet
you.
you're hearing voices in your head right now.
In your head.
It's because you don't have... Zombie, 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 hey, hey, hey.
The voices in my head tell
Rawr.
You
Mike, so how did you feel about this game?
you can't just
You
mark it.
cannot expect me to just...
You can just mark. You can't just mark it.
I did mark it.
I see that. You just peed right on it.
Yeah, it was marked.
Okay.
Mike, so how'd you feel about this one?
Pardon me.
Rawr. So we're moving. So
Eric
we're moving.
Clapton.
What?
So we're
That
moving.
is-
Rawr.
Look, ouch!
I did not grind my feet in Charlie Murphy's couch. Yeah, I ground my feet in Charlie Murphy's couch. Nah.